Don't you love it when things just go together? You know, like the panel van or the Statesman. It doesn't happen when I'm working on my own car because it's still in the shed. Alright, so now that this thing's somewhat tidy, we'll go, the engine's over here, Jake. It's a somewhat tidy workspace, and I can actually see what's going on with some of the things. So we have a few issues I'm going to bring to your guys' attention. First one is this aircon. As you can see, there is a mass of wiring here. I'm guessing this was for some sensor. But as you can see, this is two wires, you know, twisted together with a inner guard right there with bare metal. So sweet, that's a good start. Following it along, it goes straight to the power in the battery. As you can see, there's the yellow wire. So that's fine, that's not a fire waiting to happen. Next thing is this. More yellow wires and chute connections and inline fuses. Fantastic. Not only is it that, we have, this is for the low beam, that's for the high beam, and the low beam is absolutely melted in there, so sweet. Next thing, we have this tapped into the passenger side kick panel. I don't know what this is for. We have speaker wires with inline fuses, mint, and we have another inline fuse going to the factory harness. I don't know where that green one's supposed to go, but I'm guessing it's meant to go, it's meant to have a pin on it and go into that, but yeah, they've tapped into it for something else. I can only follow the speaker wires. They go behind that foam there and up behind the dash, so I'm gonna have to pull some of this out, probably not right now, it's not that urgent, and the fuse is blown, so it's not gonna work anyway, but yeah, that is one of the joys I'm going to have to be dealing with this. As you can see, it's a new day. That's because we had more problems. Steering column is in. I spent most of the afternoon chasing wires. We have this brown wire tapped in. I'll get to that in a second. That actually goes to the alternator, so don't ask me why. And then we have this blue and this red. This red goes to brown again, and then we have the blue end goes to the pink one. So the pink one is 12 volt. I know that from HQ. One's ignition, one's coil, like cranking and operating. So yeah, I have no idea what this thing is, so that's fine. This car has quite humbled me. I'm quite stumped with all the wiring and why and what and when. It's really out of my depth, and I think if this car runs and doesn't burn to the ground, I think the best thing for me to do is to replace this whole main harness and replace it forward and then work from there, because it is repairable, but the amount of work that's going to be needed to go into it is just... And I've also got to learn what all the wires are for and strip it back to what it's meant to be standard, like all that stuff over there that's been tapped into. So let's see if it will kick over. Hang on. Ah, fuck my head.
That's very grindy, doesn't it?
All right, new starter's in. Here we go. That's gonna start. Try it from the key. Oh, this husband might be better. It doesn't want to do it from the key now. Something's live in there. All right, as always, if you've seen this channel, got an oil pressure gauge. Next thing, I'm going to put oil in it, but I am going to drop it down so that all the oil isn't at the back of the sump. Give it a fighting chance to pick up oil pressure. So you should probably check what it's in it. So on this week's episode of Prepping Oil Pumps with Jake, we have a Holden 6-cylinder one. I don't know if you can see it, maybe if I aim him in the light. That thing is bone dry. Now nothing came out of that. I didn't drop it all on the ground. That is just how it is. So yeah, that would have never picked up oil. So let's crack these guys. Quick reference, 2 dots on the face of the pump gears. That is one big groove in there. That's 2 oil pump gears prepped and the cover plate going back on when I put the bolts. Back in its hole. I'm going to count that as a service. So we started making oil pressure. I think I followed the line all the way to there. And the battery was cranking it over super slow. The starter was getting hot. Starters don't generally like to be cranking over for that long. And the battery, well, that's had a rough couple of weeks. While the battery's on charge and the starter's cooling down, I'm going to put the exhaust back on. All right, exhaust is on. Next thing I want to do is this. I want to test out these brakes. Now, jumping into the car, we've got 0 pedal. If we go here, she's bone dry. Leads me to believe that if I can put some of this in, we might have something here, or at least a leak, and then I can maybe pinch that off and see if the fronts work or the rears work. We may also put this in and it will do nothing. These access holes are great. All right, let's see what you're gonna do. Oh, you beauty. All right, so, again, beautiful. Hang on. All right, go. All right, so this morning I've just ran down the street and grabbed some fuel. We've now got 20 litres in this thing. Now that I'm doing it, I'm thinking I'm a little bit brave. Not stunning and brave, just brave, because I don't even know what's in this fuel tank. Hang on. Go. Hang on. I know this fuel pump works, so let's pull it out. So that's it, running off the tank. It's still got a really bad exhaust leak at the front here. And brakes with vacuum are there, but horrendous. It's low on trans fluid and power steering fluid. Oh yeah, it's way low on trans fluid. Oh, the trans is fucked. See if the brakes work. Yep. That hose is fucked. Seen better days. This guy might have some parts in him. Put it up against the other one, I guess. So that's them. Look at this one. Day and night. I think I'll replace it with this one. Now that we've established that this car will run, drive and stop, it's time to address a few issues. First one being the trans slipping. Now I really didn't need to put the transmission fix in this thing. I just did it to give it a fighting chance. The second thing being the cooling system. Now when I was running this thing, the driver's side tank on the radiator would be stone cold and the passenger side tank on the radiator would be quite warm. Now this was telling me straight away that this car was not moving water along. So initially I wasn't going to take the thermostat housing off, or the thermostat or the water outlet that goes into the block, but I'm glad I did, because the more I dug into this thing, the more I could see that this thing wasn't just going to pass the bill with just a hobo's flush with the hose throughout the radiator and the cooling system. So during the week I did a parts run on the Deadly Treadly, stopping off at the skate park along the way, as you do, and only just making it home because I had a dead flat front tyre. But I managed to get everything that I needed. New hoses, gaskets, new radiator cap, thermostat, I got a water temp sensor, and I also put that thermostat housing and water outlet block through the sonic cleaner just to make it a bit more tidier. Once that was done, I cleaned up the bolts on the bench grinder on the wire wheel, and then set about putting the new parts in. Ah, fucking hell, my head. Yep. Go. Go, Dad, go. Oh, that keeps falling up. Oh, Jesus Christ. Out of my way. That's fine. Oh, knackered, I'm Jake. Or as the ladies call me. Hey, you in the bushes. Fuck off, mosquito.
That fucking car.
You start that car every fucking day? This isn't an industrial area. That's not even moving anything. Oh, fuck me. Oh, look at that dog shit. Now I can drain that dog shit. Oh, that's lovely. Why is this wheel stuck on? Someone's glued it on. They're trying to sabotage the video. Fuck's sake.
That's just silly.
Hey, that's wrong way, dumbass. That is a fucking beautiful colour. Ugh, what was that?
Was that the one?
Got a pedal though. Decent pedal. So right about now, I should be running the car and putting snake oils through the cooling system and whatnot. The car is turning over really slow. I'm assuming it's between the starter motor and the battery not helping. So I've actually ordered another starter. So I'm now working on something else so I'm not wasting time. The fuel line is blocked. I put air to it and it was just back pressuring it out. I cut the soft line at the tank. That fuel line's free, so I've isolated it to the sender. So I went ahead and pulled out another sender out of another car just to have a gaze. They are a bit different. HQ to HZ normally have a locking ring, but the actual face here is the locking ring. So the sock in this one is knackered, so I've ordered another sock just in case I end up using that one. I'm guessing the one in the tank is a lot worse, but let's get under there and have a look. Judging from the colour, I don't really want to use this fuel again. I think I'll use it for parts cleaner. So here it is, a lot cleaner than the other one. You can see in there's some dark spots, like there would be a blockage, like right there. And if we do this, she's blocked as a goog. Alright, I doubt this sock's going back in because that's, I think, it's what's causing the blockage. So, see if I can get him. Oh yeah. Oh yes. Look at that. Alright, so that's him all cleaned up. Not 100%, but good enough for the girls we date. There is meant to be a rubber O-ring that sits in there, and it did start to turn into like a gel, so I really had to dig in there. All I used for that was a bit of petrol, razor blade, flathead screwdriver, and an old toothbrush. So no need to reinvent the wheel there. And with that, until I get parts, that's the end of this video. See you next time. Psych! What the fuck? Yep. Alright, so new starter's in, car cranks over. Car cranks over good when it cranks over. Now it does make a big clunk, and it doesn't sound like your normal clunk when the starter is throwing out, but it's not, you know, spinning the flywheel. It sounds like something's loose either in the converter or the flywheel, or maybe the converter's not done its 3 clicks all the way in, but there is something going on with this thing. So some information that I know about this motor that you guys don't know is that this motor is out of the silver smashed up VK, not the injected motor one. So maybe when they put this motor in, maybe they haven't done things up properly between the trans and the motor. So this thing's going to go up in the air, and I am determined to get this thing running because it is giving me the shits. At least I get to lay down. Yeah. Nothing's wobbling under here. The starter's fine, it's this. This has a shit connection on the starter. Starts fine off the button. Lovely. Let's see if that snake oil works. Let's flatten this. This has only got 1 bar on it now.
Yeah. You're lucky it works at all straight out the box.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought I was doing alright. Now you can't really see it that well, but right here, you can see it now. It's got that cutout. It's been rubbing on the dipstick, and it's rubbed a hole through there. It didn't pick it up in the video, but it was spurting out of there, so that is my hole. It also looks like it's starting to rub through here on this bottom one, so I'm just going to wrap them for now. Well, that was an easy fix, but I'm now half covered in water, so I don't have to have a bath tonight. $1 million question. What am I getting under the car for now? Ignition's not on. I've heard that helps. Oh, lovely. Might as well use the rest. Ain't gonna hurt it. Here we go, we're off. Into the sunset. Still got that stutter there. Got some sort of lake. Alright, so that's another one, running and driving. Still a lot of 1%ers I need to do on this, but I can do all that off camera. No need for you guys to watch that. It's really not going to be interesting at all for me or for you. So until then, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and take it easy.